All right, good afternoon again, Pink Sox Nation. Coach Charles here with another video for you. Today we're going to just cover, we have our first game coming up, so we're going to go over again what the difference is between a force out and a tag out, all right, because that's going to come up a lot while you're in the field. And we're also going to discuss a little bit of how to cover bases, how to back each other up. The basic principle behind the force out and tag out is a tag out you can always do. So if you feel the ball and you're at second, the ball comes off the ground, you catch it, and you see a girl running past you, you can tag her. You don't have to wait to throw to the bag. Don't try to make the throw. If you've got her and she's right there, just give her a tag, all right? The tag has to be with the ball like this, or the ball has to be in the glove like this, okay? It can't be held in this hand and tagged with that one, all right? It doesn't work that way. All right, we said it at practice. You can't, kick them on the way through either. Or if you're holding the ball, right, do not kick anybody. There's no ninja kicks, no kung fu fighting in the infield. All right, that's a bad day. All right, just gentle tag. You're not trying to tackle. It's not like football. All right, it's with the ball or it's with this anywhere on their body. All right, so if they're sliding, obviously, get down low to make the tag. But if they're just running by, just give them a tag. Give them a tag like that. You gotta make sure you hold on to the ball, because if you tag and that ball bounces out, they're safe. Because even though you tagged it, if they happen to knock the ball loose just because you're not holding on to it tightly enough, it's not going to count as an out, all right? So you can always tag. However, force plays come into effect when a runner has no choice but to come to a base. They're being forced to come to a base, all right? So I'm going to show you that with this chart here. All right, this is your field, right? All right, so here's first base. So when you're here and you're up at bat, obviously the only place you can go to when you hit the ball is go towards first base, because you go first, second, third, home, all right? So when you're on your way to first base, all the first basemen, anyone who's at the base right there, all they have to do is step on the bag and it's an automatic out. Why? Because the runner isn't allowed to run back to home where they started from, okay? Now, if that runner goes to first base and the ball's hit deep enough and they're going to try for two bases, now it's a tag play. It's not a force play, because even though the runner is heading to second, you can't just step on second base, because that runner has the option of going back to first base. So once they've passed first base, it becomes a tag play. And you have to tag them if they're going back and forth between the bases, all right? But if there's a runner on base already, let's say they have a runner here on first base, okay? The runner's on first base, the ball gets hit. Now this runner at first base is being forced to go to second base, which means if you get the ball here, you just step on the bag, and that's a force play. And if you have the time, you step on the bag, get that force, throw it over the first. If you can beat that throw, if you can get that throw over there before that runner gets there, that's called a double play, because you got the runner at second and then got the runner at first. You're gonna hear myself and Coach John throughout every defensive play that we start. Hey, ladies, where's the play? That's to give you a heads up as to where you're going to start throwing the ball or tag whatever base you're at, depending on what the situation is. So in a situation like this, you'll hear us say, ladies, where's the play? And the answer is first or second. Usually you want to try and get the lead runner, which means the runner that's closest to scoring. In this case, the runner at first base is closer to scoring than the one that's starting from over here. But sometimes you don't have that play. You might field the ball right here. So go for the easy out, all right? Don't try to do anything too fancy. If that's the best play you have, go for it. When you field the ball, if you see the runner has already gotten to first base and you field it somewhere over here, hold it, all right? Don't throw the ball, because you risk throwing it away, okay? The runner's already safe. She's not moving. You hold the ball up, give it to the pitcher. That stops all the play. If you're in the outfield, you have to throw the ball into the infield. That's very important. If you're in the outfield and you're just standing there holding the ball up, the play is not dead and the runners are allowed to advance as much as they want. So you have to, when you get the ball in the outfield, you throw it in. One thing we didn't get a chance to do because the outfield grass was so long and at the field the other day, and I apologize for that, we are working on that, is trying to hit the cutoff person, because it might be too far for you in left field to throw all the way in there. So if the ball gets hit out here to left field, you want to throw to the shortstop right here. If the ball is hit in right field, you want to throw it to the second baseman. That's the cutoff person, because then that person will relay the throw to the pitcher and get the ball in, kill the play right there, and the runners won't be able to advance any further than that. That's when they declare the ball dead, and the next batter comes up, and we have a new system of play going on. All right? So just remember the difference between a force and a tag. You can always tag, but a force play is a situation like this. First and second is a force in this. Now, if there's no runner at first base, but there's a runner at second base, and the ball gets hit, third base is not a force, because this runner at second base doesn't have to go to third base if she doesn't want to, because there's no one pushing her. Because this runner is going to first base, she can stay still if she wants to. So if the ball gets hit right here to the shortstop, that person at second base may decide, hey, I don't want to risk running and being tagged out or thrown out. I'm going to stay right here. The only way she'd have to run is if the person at first base decides that they're going to try and go to that base. Then she's being pushed off the bag. It's still not a force play, because that runner going here can technically run back, and she can run back. So it kind of changes as the situation goes. It's a weird concept to get used to. You'll see it unfold in the game. You'll see it unfold in practice, and we'll work on this a lot more in the coming weeks as we do more fielding practice. But you should always just be aware of listening to Coach John and myself, because we'll tell you, hey, sometimes you'll have runners on all three bases, and we'll say, where's the play, ladies? Any base. Whatever base you're closest to, just step on it, because it's a force play all around, because they're all being forced to move. Okay? You can always tag, but know when you can make the force play. All right? Real quick, this is something I really can't do without showing you. There's really no substitution for it. But going into the game that we have coming up on Saturday, one of the biggest things we want to be concerned about is covering your bases. Okay? What that means is making sure there's always somebody on the bases to throw to if you feel the ball. All right? So if the ball gets hit right around here, there's a temptation for the pitcher, the third baseman, and the shortstop to all kind of run in and try to grab the ball. That's great to have that hustle, to get that drive and get to the ball. The only issue is then nobody's covering the base if someone needs to come over here. So if there's a runner at second base heading over here, and the third baseman is all the way over here, there's no one here. If you're at shortstop and you see the third baseman coming all the way over here, run over and cover that. Or maybe the pitcher runs over and covers that. Be aware of what's happening around you defensively so that you're covering the bases. If you're playing here in right field, something very important, if you see the ball is hit on the ground that's staying in the infield and you know that they're going to try and make a throw to first base, you want to move right here to back up first base. Why? Because if someone throws the ball to first base and the throw goes wide, or the first baseman misses it and it goes past them, the runner can then run to second base. But if the right fielder comes over here and is there to catch it just in case, they won't get the out at first, but it'll stop that runner from going up here. All right? We did it so many times last year in one game that the other team started copying us because they saw it was a good idea, because they kept throwing the ball wide and we'd get a single turn into a double every single time. So we're trying to avoid the other team from getting those extra bases. So we want right field to try and back up first base. Same thing goes over here for left field. If you're in left field and you think the play is going to be coming to third base, run down here, back up third base. Because the ball, remember, is not always going to be hit directly to you. So you're going to have to move. That's why you have to pay attention in the field, like I explained in that first video, in that first practice. So you want to make sure that you're backing each other up. Second base and shortstop, I've described in the past as kind of imagining you girls have a rope and you're tied to one another. If the ball gets hit to shortstop, second base, run over to the base and stand on the bag and get ready for a throw from the shortstop. If the ball gets hit to second base, shortstop, run over to the bag and get ready for a throw. That's why these two positions are like this. You're not standing. If you're playing second base, you're not standing right on the base. You're kind of covering this area between first and second, while shortstop covers the area between second and third. All right, so the two of you kind of have that one goes one way, the other one follows. So if shortstop starts getting pulled this way, second base, get ready to cover. Second base starts getting pulled this way, shortstop, be ready to cover. The object of this is to make sure that you always have someone to throw to on the bases. Now we're going to be playing with stealing on Saturday. We don't quite know yet what the rules are on stealing. Stealing is advancing a base. If you're on first base, you can run when the pitcher throws the ball. Maybe if the pitcher throws the ball wide and the catcher misses it, whatever the rules are going to be there, they're going to be in effect come Saturday. You can then attempt to run to second base. Now in that case, it becomes a tag out play, but you want to be ready as the catcher. As the catcher, you want to be ready. If you see that runner taking off, catch that ball and throw it over here. So second base and shortstop need to be aware of that the runner is running so that they come and cover the base. If the ball goes past them, guess what, center field? You back them up and throw it back into the infield. All right? It's all about backing one another up. And we saw in practice the other night when we did our little hit around that some balls sometimes go only about that far, right there in front of the plate. That's fair ball. It's like I keep saying, if you feel the contact, you hit the ball, you take off and run. Because sometimes the fielders will be so confused over what to do about it, they'll just leave the ball there and you just take off and you get an easy single. Doesn't matter if the ball is hit to here or if it's hit all the way out here. You get on base. That's all that matters, right? If you see this happen when you're the catcher, it's up to you as a catcher when you see the ball get hit to get out in front of that plate and be ready for a throw at home just in case someone is running home, and to feel the ball like that so that you can throw it to first. Pitcher, you can also, move in. That's your ball. It's technically your ball. All right? It's a tough thing to get used to. We'll go over it a lot more in practice. You'll see it in play at the game about, how to cover your zones, how to know how far you should leave. But pay attention to your fellow fielders. If you see your third baseman running all the way down here to field the ball, hey, shortstop, move over, cover that. And if that shortstop moves over, second base, you cover that. This way there's always someone to throw it to because that's what you want. You don't want to get the ball and then turn around and then realize there's no one there to throw the ball to. Okay? That's very important to make sure. That's what, you've heard the saying, keeping your bases covered. This is what we mean by that. Okay? It's all about making sure that you know where the ball is at all times. You know where your fellow teammates are at all times. If you're standing here at second base and or you're standing at first base over here and there's a slow ground ball rolling up here, charge it, all right? Don't wait for it to come to you because while you're waiting for this slow ball to come to you, that runner's running top speed faster than the ball. It's not going to get to you in time. So don't be afraid to move up and grab it. If you see that happen, second base, go cover, or pitcher, go cover that base. This way, when the first baseman does field it right around here, they can turn around and fire a throw to first. There's someone there to catch it. And in case someone misses it, right field is right there to back it up. All right? You don't want to stray too far from your zone, but you also don't want to stand still like a tree rooted in place, okay? We're going to go over this again real quick before the game starts on Saturday. I know it's a lot of information. I know it's a little bit confusing, but I'll be there. Coach John will be there. Listen to us for your cues, and we'll go out there and have some fun. All right, ladies? See you Saturday. Let's go Pink Sox.